Then again, scoreboards don't care about all of that, right? You're either the best on the day or you're not.
What are you gonna say to your timer now? Hey, dog, the car spun out of control, and
What
now
were
it's
you
upside
doing?
down.
You know?
Yeah, I get
So relaying the story now, I think I still carry some.
I can see
some
it in
of
your face. You're
you
like,
know?
you're so disappointed. You're like,
Man,
what?
Yeah.
I feel that, bro.
So, but my place. I was like, my time is now.
Now it's here.
Now it's
once
here.
again.
Let's go cook.
Were you not worried about disappointment again? Because
It wasn't terrible, but
yeah, but he chowed it. Yeah.
so I'm like, damn it.
This guy, why weren't you sick today?
You know,
God
why
damn
weren't you
it,
sick?
bro. Yeah.
But then I look at, and I'm trying to get past him, and I realize someone's gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
Bro, where I'm pulling up the middle, I'm off the circuit, holding like opposite lock, and I'm pulling the finger to the sky because
It's like, bro, you're such
this
a
is
dick.
insane,
Yeah,
man.
what
Like
are you
we get to that section that I mentioned is quite sketchy. I'm like, okay.
And you're live on Dead Radio.
Welcome to another very special episode of Dead Radio with your boy Ini, and once again we have another very special guest in the building, recording live from the Dead Store. We're going to let the guest introduce themselves, and then we're going to get into their life story, and you know how we do, get those jewels for you guys to use in your everyday lives. So without further ado,
My man. So, I'm Setshaba Mashigo, a data scientist by day, but I think what we're all here for is the racing. So
Yes.
I am a championship-winning racing driver now.
Ooh, don't forget it. He has titles.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I race for Toyota Gazoo.
Dope.
While they sponsor me fully in the GR86 League.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Dope. How are you doing today?
Today,
Today.
it's a very chill day, man. I
Yeah,
think this
yeah.
feels like a Sunday more than
I
Sunday.
feel that.
Yeah, I'm feeling very relaxed. It's really cool to be out here
Okay.
with you guys.
Thank you for joining us, bro.
Thanks
I'm
you.
taking
Thank
your time.
you for inviting me out. Man.
Shout out. Let's start it at the beginning.
Yes, sir.
Where is Setshaba from? Where did you grow up?
I'm a Joburg boy, but I wouldn't say I'm a Gazoo boy because
Okay.
I was Gazoo adjacent.
Okay.
You know, so
Hey,
I
Gazoo adjacent.
I can't lay
I love
claim
that.
to
I
the
love
hood,
that.
nah, but yeah, grew up in Omonde, just outside Dikloof.
Okay.
Yeah, man, pretty chill childhood.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I liked the machines. I liked,
Okay.
you know, the cars.
I get
like a
that.
dinner, you know.
Okay. Yeah,
When
taking
the
it
brake was
back.
broken,
I get
you get
that.
yeah,
love
you know.
that.
So
I get
so that's where I'm from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about Setshaba as a young man. Were you an introvert? Were you an extrovert? Were you a mixture of both?
Very much so, very much introvert. In fact, I still think I am.
Okay.
To a big extent.
Okay.
I think I'm better at hiding it these days, but
Yeah.
I'm still a homebody.
Introvert, I get
I like my quiet spaces.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, I was very inward. I was the nerdy kid.
Okay.
I was
okay.
heavy into aviation when I was a kid. So I was everyone knew me as the airplane kid or that airplane guy.
So-
Chaba the aeroplane.
What the aeroplanes? Yo, you gotta keep that name. I won't lie, dog. I won't lie. I like that name, bro.
Yeah,
So where did that interest or love for planes or aviation come from as a young man?
Like I said, it was a fascination about fascination with machines.
Okay.
Complex machines, because I liked all kinds of machines, but airplanes were like at the pinnacle of machines.
okay.
In fact, not just airplanes. The space shuttle for me was like the thing. I wanted to be an astronaut, you know.
Damn.
And then my mom's was like, you know, a lot of astronauts are pilots, so maybe you should start by being a pilot.
start
I was
there.
like, 6-year-old me was like, okay, 6-year-old is a bit early. Let's say maybe 9-year-old. I was like, okay, damn it, that's what I'm gonna do. And bro, I got in heavy into airplanes. But I was still about every other machine. Like
Yeah, yeah.
Discovery Channel was my channel, National Geographic, where they had, how things work,
I get
that
that.
sort of thing. Yeah.
I'm similar to you in terms of I like learning about how the world operates. Okay, so now you're a young man, you're in love with how machines work, right? How do you transition to a teenager from the young Setshaba?
Yeah.
Do you get further into falling in love with how things work, or do you detach from that love? How do you evolve into a teenager?
So it just got deeper from there.
Okay.
Grade 8, grade 9, my technology teacher, I don't know if the kids still do technology today.
Yo,
You know?
yo, hit us up in the comments.
Hey,
Is there still technology in school right now? Hit us up in the comments.
He was like, no, I see you really into this, you know, especially the subject, natural science technology. And then he was like, come through, we have this competition. It was the BMW RC car challenge. It was between schools, and we'd essentially be building an RC car from the start. And I was like,
Scratch.
man, that's right down my alley.
Okay.
And I was like, yes, 100%. So things like that happened. You know, we got into it, and we actually won the competition with our schoolmates.
So that was your first win in this
Yes.
thing that you love.
Yeah.
And you're live on Dead Radio. And you're live on Dead Radio.
Okay.
So from there was also the aviation side, where the South African Air Force had a youth program where they'd essentially get kids to experience the Air Force, every facet of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd hate for it to be an Air Force promo, but yeah, that's the sort of things that we did. And I was super interested in flight simulation. This is the start of the simulator obsession now. So I was really into flight sims and that sort of thing, because they were available at the time, just they weren't really widespread.
Yeah.
So you could actually fly a Boeing 747 on your home computer.
Yeah,
and
on
it was
your
like a reasonable simulation, you know. You could pay even more and you'd have like all the systems simulated there, so you could pretend to be a real pilot.
Yeah, to be a real
So,
pilot.
as, you know, 13, 14, 15-year-old, I felt like, okay, by the time I get to the Air Force,
Yeah,
bro,
now
I'm just gonna chow it, dog.
I feel you.
So we had that, and I got in a year early into the program, because I think that the age was 16 up, but they pulled me in at, no, 2 years early. They pulled me in at 14. So, but I was just hovering in the background, just helping out with the
And
sims
you're the youngest person.
Yeah. Actually, the memory's coming back now. That day when I was like beginning me and these big kids, you
The
know,
big homies.
getting ready to get into the military, man. I was, a bit intimidated, but you gotta. I know what I know, so I'll just put my best foot forward.
Yeah.
So that was that, man. Getting really heavy into the aviation community, the industry itself.
Okay.
I made an acquaintance who became my mentor, Butitsebe, and when we met the first time, because this was, you know, the starting phases of social media. We met on social media, and then we met in person. He was a pilot, and he was like, "Wait, you're a kid?"
Oh, snap. He
Yeah.
thought you were like a
Bro.
grown-ass man.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
And so meeting people like that, even though I would ultimately
Pivot.
yeah, those relationships and being in that sort of area, space in aviation and the like, it really, I think, set the tone for a lot.
Okay. So at this time, are you also now like watching things like Top Gear? Okay.
Absolutely. Also, we have, I that point, I think we have a stack of car magazine. A stack, a growing stack.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that you're just going through. Okay, so you're a petrol head at that time.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, so now you've gone through this period of being introduced into like the aviation space, right? What happens in your mind, because also you're getting older and you're about to finish high school, right? What's your perspective on what you want your career to be, and why did you not pursue the aviation dream? Like, what deterred you, or what made you pivot from the thing that you had loved since you were such a kid?
So I never stopped loving aviation.
Okay.
Right until past high school. Yeah. So much so I had so much faith that I didn't. This was unwise at the time, looking back, but I didn't even apply for varsity.
Crazy.
It was that hectic. So I applied to the Air Force, but I didn't apply to varsity because I was sure. Everyone was sure. The people inside the Air Force, they were like, "Yeah, we're just waiting for you, man. You just be of age, come through. We got you." So I applied for the Air Force. They said, "Come through." I was like, "Yes, okay." Selections were set up. Went to Pretoria. Now I already know these places because I've been around.
You've been there since you were a kid.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm feeling comfortable now. I applied to be a pilot, of course. So we're going through all the motor tests, the psychometric tests, all those sorts of things. So it was like a week-long selection. Started out with 60 people, right? First day, I think 30 people got cut off. Just like that.
Okay.
As we're going on, man, people are getting cut off.
5,
cut off.
3.
Yeah.
Just like...
It was a massacre, bro. So going through all of that, and obviously the closer and closer and closer and closer you get to the end, you're like, yes, this is actually going to happen. But these... So the Air Force, these are prescription, by the way. So the Air Force at the time, I don't know if it's changed. It was probably still the same, but to be a fighter pilot, definitely
you can't wear prescription.
Yeah, so you need 20/20 vision, unassisted. They might have relaxed it, but definitely unassisted. Right? And so I got to the final phase now. 5 of us left, from 60 down to 5. There was the Air Force hospital in Pretoria near the air bases, which, by the way, doesn't appear on the maps. And it looks the way you'd expect an Air Force hospital to look like. It's very, it's very covert. It's in like this wooded area. It's crazy, man. But anyway,
that's crazy.
It's not on Google Maps, man. There's like the main one military hospital, but there's another one that no one knows. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so we were there, and I'm at the end, and the lady was doing the eye tests. It was a pretty chilly day. It was around June. I said, "Oh, Mfanam, surely not in the machine." She says, no, just relax outside. Maybe your eyes will warm up and it will get better. At that point, I knew. I knew because I looked into that thing, Joe, and I couldn't see a damn thing.
Oh, no.
But I was like, let's just carry this to the end. I came back in, I had a look, and I was like, nothing, bro.
I can't see shit.
So, that was that. I remember it like it was yesterday. This was 2015. I remember it like it was yesterday, man. Kenya just dropped To Pimp a Butterfly.
Okay.
So that was on repeat. And I remember I went out, put my earphones in, and I was listening to the album, bro. Just waiting for the bus to come through
pick you guys
and
up.
take us back to base, man. I don't want to lie. I think I tried it as best as possible to convey how much aviation was like. Passion is like an understatement.
Yeah.
I was sure. I didn't even apply for varsity.
Varsity, bro.
And here I was, and the dream was shattered. And unfortunately, I was at the wrong place at the wrong time because SAA had just stopped their cadet program because they ran out of money. I couple of other places that
Yeah,
stopped.
had also stopped.
Because flight training is extremely expensive if you're going to go on it privately. And I applied for a couple of bursaries for flight training.
Didn't work.
It didn't work, and I just had to.
So this dream that you had as a kid was now, and you were literally, now it was staring you in the face.
Like the last day, man.
And now it's slipping away. How are you dealing with this disappointment? Because one thing I've learned about everyone's journey is that there is disappointment, right? And champions are the people who know how to deal with disappointment. It's not about actually when you're holding the trophy. No, what happens when you don't hold the trophy? So how did you deal with like such a huge blow?
Man, it was a huge blow, man.
Yeah.
It was massive because not only was I like counting on it, my family, everyone, because
Setshaba Mashigo's going to.
Like, it's only a matter of time, right? And it didn't happen. It was like, damn. Okay. Obviously, after the bursaries and trying my hand at that, things don't work out. I should probably have a drink. Can I have it on the bottom?
Yeah, of course.
None of that is working. Just a sec.
Damn, what a devastating blow, bro.
Yeah, man. So I just took it on the chin. That's the only way you can. Just took it on the chin. Applied for varsity. So it essentially became a gap year. I was just floating around, helping out where I could.
Figuring out, okay, what's my next move?
What's the next move? And sorry, this was 2016, not 2015. 2015 was my matric year. So yeah, I applied to varsity to do physics and maths.
Okay.
So going back to just understanding how the world works, right? But I think the disappointment weighed heavy. I don't want to lie. I think I carried it. In fact, I think I still carry, relaying the story now, I think I still carry some.
I can see it in your face. You're you're so disappointed. You're like, what?
Yeah.
I feel that, bro.
So, but nevertheless, man, life moves on. Never waits for anyone. You've got to push on.
Were you speaking to anyone at that time to help rebuild your mind? Because as a young person, those type of blows, they really hurt. And you feel like, oh, life is over. Like, I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do, so fuck it. Like, were you speaking to anyone, maybe family, maybe friends?
Fortunately, the mentor that I mentioned, just also let me know that, the journey doesn't end here. You've got to make a plan any way you can. And so, that's how I made it through. Eventually got into varsity.
Okay.
And tried to really focus, zero in on that. Meanwhile, I think then that's where a bit of the racing and begins. It actually began around grade 11.
Okay.
So I might have left it behind, but at that point started getting into racing sims.
Okay.
Less so racing games and now into racing sims, and so now this is...
So moving away from what, like your Need for Speeds or whatever, Gran Turismo, to like now racing sims. And you're obviously still doing it as just like a passion side thing. You're not thinking...
I'm not even, bro, who's gonna be me a racing
what do you
bro?
mean?
Like,
I
what do you
get
mean?
that. I get that. Okay, so now you're in varsity, you're studying, you said physics and? Maths.
Yeah.
What was your plan with that degree? Like, what were you planning in terms of like, okay, what's gonna be my career?
I really didn't know.
Okay.
I don't want to lie. I really just...
Well, like,
let's see where it takes us.
Okay.
It sounds good. So
yeah,
surely it will be good, right?
Okay.
So, but obviously in it, you learn about the different career
paths that you can take.
So So there wasn't really an expectation, but more like, okay, this everyone says it's the right train. It seems
So
like it's let's go ahead.
Okay. So, did you graduate?
I did not from
Okay.
physics and maths. Switched my degree to computer science
Computer sciences.
and maths. And really, I don't want to lie, I was struggling in varsity for many reasons. Yeah, it was really tough. You know, sometimes there's this conversation with my supervisor at the time, because you know there'd be moments where I'd be leaving the class behind, man. Hey man, people are struggling. You can see it. Like, hey,
They're
Joe.
not doing well, these guys.
I'm there at the front of the class,
Yeah.
teacher's pet, you know, I'm killing it. And then I eventually
get
became a undergrad research assistant. But just for some reason, man, it just wasn't working. Just, you know, like I said, the ups and downs where at one point I'd be doing so well.
And then,
The next is like, hey man, what's happening?
yeah, what's going on?
You know, like when you look at the transcript, it's like, oh, positive distinction, positive sub.
yeah,
positive
yeah,
distinction.
yeah,
And like,
yeah,
what's going
yeah.
on?
What's
man?
going on?
Even then, I couldn't really explain to anyone what's actually going on.
I don't know
I don't know,
myself.
you know. But I was like, okay, let's again. I took another direction. Managed to zero in on data science, so I managed to.
Okay.
I did overcome
Okay.
eventually. In another way.
Okay.
So,
okay.
yeah.
So you go in, you now zero in on being or studying data science.
Yeah.
Which actually means what in layman's terms?
The industry itself. data
Yes,
science.
like what when you study data science, what is that the interpreting of data? And that's such a wide thing. Like, what does it actually mean?
It is very broad.
Yeah, it's so
extremely
broad.
but because of that broadness, that's why the industry is so widespread and everyone wants to get into it. So essentially, YouTube analytics, Insta, socials, that's one example where you're just getting the numbers and everything.
And then creating valuable information from that data.
There you go. Creating valuable information, drawing actionable insights.
Yes,
That's the jargon.
Okay.
You know, but just the whole pipeline, the gathering of the data. For example, you know, in the case of views, YouTube will just look at how many clicks, how long did individual people watch a video,
average view duration.
we look at the locations. Who is your content resonating with? So I would be on the in the background, like creating those pipelines and the visuals and a way to convey that. It stretches further into business intelligence, into the person who takes that information and says, okay, this is what we're seeing. We're seeing that for example, you're resonating with a lot of young-ish, middle-class
So
black folk.
18 to what, 30 or
Yes.
whatever. Yes.
Middle-class black folk
Who live
that's-
here and here.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this is where your focus should be, for example. So it's super broad, and you know it could apply to any industry, man. It's
Okay,
insane.
so
Yeah.
you can basically go and work in any industry and create valuable information for that brand, company, organization. Okay.
Exactly.
Fuck, yo. Whoever's thinking about, I don't know what I want to go and study at school.
There you go.
Yo, there you go. Okay. So the racing and you playing with racing simulators, right? What's happening in that space in your life at that time?
Yeah. So listen, I'll tell you how I got to that point as well. I think in my head, I really try to. I'm a bit of a purist. Like, if you're gonna do something, it has to be either the best way you can do it, be the best at it, or just something in that vein. And with that, you briefly mentioned Jeremy Clarkson and the like at the back.
Yes.
Just previously. And then
The
I came
Top
to
Gear
know
guys.
the Top Gear guy. And like, that's cool. You know, I'm also doing the Need for Speeds and all of that. And I'm like, okay, this is enjoyment. Will this translate if I get into a car? Will I be able to drive a car like
To
that?
actually drive
Yeah.
a car.
And then I got to know this guy, Chris Harris, and I watched this guy drive, and like, bro, guy's insane.
Okay.
I watch him drive, and man, it's like watching a lot of sportsmen do their thing. You know, you just watch in awe. It's like,
Yeah. And like,
damn,
wow,
damn.
bro.
And I saw that guy. I'm like, okay, I want to try and do that in the sim because you can't afford to do it in
real life.
in
Yeah.
real life. So I'm just doing that, and you know, I bought a cheap steering wheel to attach to my desk and do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's like I'm stepping up, and now I'm like really good in single player mode. You know, in games, you
Yes,
have multiplayer, single
yes,
player.
yes.
So I'm getting really good at single player. Okay, we need to step this up a bit, and then when I got hold of a better steering wheel and pedal set with some, you know, it's pay to play sometimes.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, maybe I could enter some online leagues. So there are online South African leagues for racing.
Okay.
At the time, I joined Sim Racing South Africa and Sim Race Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, they were sort of adjacent competitor-ish leagues. And I got into that, and I was like really enjoying it. And I'm not the quickest anymore. I'm like, I wasn't the slowest, but I'm like,
but
there.
yeah,
I'm
there.
like, okay.
Yeah.
And then you see a guy sit at that time, it's like 2 seconds quicker than you. You're like, what the hell? Like, how is it possible?
Yeah, how are they even doing
Yeah,
that?
and then I think that's where the competitiveness in racing
Comes in,
started.
right?
Yeah, so that's where in varsity-ish as well, around that time, that's when
Okay, so you're competing regularly and you're focusing on getting better.
Yeah.
Okay. And still, that being a career for you is not an option.
Yeah, man, that's just
I'm
having
gaming,
fun,
bro. Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
just
yeah.
unwinding
Yeah, after
a
gang
week.
stress of going through data and
Imminent.
shit, you're just like,
Imminent. Yeah. Oh no, at this point I was still in varsity.
Okay,
So
okay.
the stress is real, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. So you get to the end of university, right? When do you now actually step into an actual car and you take it from the virtual world to the real world? What happens there?
So the first couple of times this happened was no official capacity. So sometimes it take loyal time or something, you know, because I knew what I had to do to learn as effectively as possible with the minimum effort and minimum. So when it rains, right, it's a bit slippery on the ground. I was fortunate enough to live in an area that has like really big open spaces and there's no traffic. So on those days, I'd find a way to slip out.
Real time, hey, let me go to the store quick fast.
Exactly,
I know
wabona.
those vibes.
I can shop
No, no.
So I went out and just learning car control, sliding the car, playing around with the car, essentially. Obviously trying not to damage it or anything like that because
what are you gonna say to your timer now? Hey, dog, the car spun out of control and
what
now
are
it's
you
upside
doing?
down.
You know?
Yeah, I get
so
that.
I have to be super measured,
get
but obviously I'm trying to learn. I'm also doing this a bit for enjoyment, you know. It's also cool to say I can drift a car, right? And I'm throwing it around, playing around with it, and that's where it starts sort of building with the
simulator.
The simulator as well. And then 2021, there was the FIA, same FIA that runs, you know, F1, WRC, the like, have a rally style competition. So they were essentially trials to become a rally driver, and they were holding a selection thing pretty much across the road from my place. I was like, my time is now.
Now it's here.
Now it's
once
here.
again.
Let's go cook.
Were you not worried about disappointment again? Because once again, a dream of yours is right here. It's literally across the road. Didn't that trauma from what happened resurface, or did you're like, fuck it, let me just go try?
I won't lie. I think a bit of it was there.
Because it never leaves you. I
Never
won't lie,
leaves
yo,
you.
the disappointment.
It never leaves you, man. It never leaves you. But like everything competitive, because there were other guys who
Of
were there,
course,
of course, you
of
know,
course.
there's a bit of bravado, right?
course.
And you're riding on some of that as well. And so I was like, alright, man, we're just gonna go do this.
Whatever happens, happens.
Whatever happens, happens. Like, you're getting a bit older now. You're starting to take things as they come.
As they come, bro.
And I was there and jump into the car. I do my thing. Damn, I got a really good time. And I was leading for, I think, most of the day. And then this guy pulls up, chows my tire. Oh, it wasn't terrible, but
Yeah, but he chowed it.
chows.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn it.
This guy, why weren't you sick today? God
why
damn
weren't you
it,
sick?
bro. Yeah.
But then I look at, I'm trying to figure out what happened, what I need to do to improve. And I learned that, Emma, this gent is actual advanced driving instructor. I'm like, oh, okay. But then again, scoreboards don't care about all of that, right? You're either the best on the day or you're not.
Or you're not,
right?
bro.
So it is what it is. You just have to go home, improve, come back if the opportunity arises. Somehow.
again.
So I didn't make it that day. It was what it was.
It is what it is.
Like, it is what it is. For sure.
But he was the only person who beat you.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's not the same as being last.
Yeah.
The disappointment is different, but there's still disappointment.
It's still there. You know, it's still a bit of this. There's a bit of not acknowledgement, not reassurance either, but somewhere in your confirmation, that okay, you're not that bad.
Yeah.
You know,
So all those nights of being on the simulator actually have translated. Okay.
I'm like, okay, this is fair enough. And I posted a lot of this stuff, by the way, on the socials, you know, snippets from my doing the simulator stuff, some of the dodgier driving stuff.
With the Bali's whip.
Exactly, you know, and this event as well. No. I'm jumping the gun. We still have a way to go.
Okay.
So I'm posting a lot of this stuff at
Online,
that time.
yeah.
And a couple of months later, I get an email. FI Rally Star. Yay! I open it, and they say there's another round of selections. I'm like, damn it!
Okay.
Wait, let's go. This is sent from the heavens, man. So I have to cook. And this time I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to prepare a little bit for this.
Okay.
There was another competition using similar cars and doing a similar thing. And I had to like raise money just to hire the car for that day and do that. And I did that competition. So it was a competition in and of itself, but it wasn't obviously FIA.
Yes.
And I was doing really well in that. And at that event, I think there were two guys. It was me and another guy who also came from a background of sim racing. He was pretty quick as well. And we got to the final stage, and I was flying, man. Like, I was flying. Everyone was like, okay, he's going to take it.
He's obviously going to take it. Yeah.
I clipped a cone, and that's a second penalty. And I came back, and I'm like, they revealed the time. I was like, oh, damn. You would have been the quickest, but you clipped the cone.
For the cone.
I'm like, but I think I'd known at the time.
For real.
And to be fair, the other guy was like properly quick. I was like, okay, you know, it wasn't a walkover at all. And I enjoyed myself. I was like, sharp. But obviously the goal is FIA. FIA happens, and I drop a stinker, bro. I drop a stinker, and I couldn't, bro. Yeah. I dropped a stinker, and I was like, okay, that was the second chance. Yeah. I'm accepting defeat.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's cool. Go about my life.
Sharp.
Get
Yeah.
sharp. Email. FIA Rally Star.
Hey, this
like,
thing
what
keeps
is it now,
coming
man?
to you, bro.
We've decided to bring you on as a wildcard entry. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay,
Let's
course.
go, of course.
This is for entry to the national finals.
Okay.
And then I come through and I don't drop a stinker. And then I get pulled into the national finals. No, those were the national finals.
Oh, those were the
national finals.
Okay.
And so I qualified for the continental finals. So I'm like, okay, damn. So I'm here.
Now you're here.
Now I'm here. And
let's pause right there.
Yeah.
What's going through your mind in terms of, okay, I've taken these losses leading up to this moment, which is a victory for me. What's going on through your mind mentally?
Is this actually happening? Like, is this what I've been waiting for? Is this it? I was waiting around the corner.
Yeah, what's ish?
You know?
Because you know how it goes.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
I know how it goes.
Yeah.
And mind you, the national finals were pretty hectic as well. We even went through interviews and that. So I was like, very happy. Validated, that's
validated.
The word. That's the word I was looking for.
Yes.
Felt very validated. I was like, okay, you can do this, man. But there was still a bit of apprehension because now I'm the big leagues. Yeah. Right on the big stage.
The big boys.
The bright lights are there.
You can't mess up now.
You have to perform.
Yeah.
You know, the guys from Europe will be there, and you know you're already on the back foot.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But it's cool. I was there. I was just happy to be there because this was international level event with some of the best drivers on the continent. Right. Obviously being skewed to South Africa just because of the nature of our country, but that was the case. And I was there, and we're driving these epic little cross carts with like a motorbike engine in it. Insane. Still the best thing I've driven to this day.
Okay,
so we're there, and
you've made it.
Made it.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to get everything. And then we hop into the car for the first day. And let me tell you, bro, it was a baptism of fire. It felt like everything was coming at you at like
100
Mach
km
1,
an hour. I feel that.
So it has a bike engine, bike transmission. It's very hard to driven a manual car, you know, sometimes clutch control.
Hey,
it's like, and I've been driving for a couple of years at that point. I was pretty confident. And you hop into this thing.
But
and
now, like,
and then again, like,
what's going on?
Okay, so I'm just riding the clutch, and already now confidence is a bit shaky now.
It's a bit shaky.
I mean, you're getting off the line, bro. Come on. Yeah.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Dog, yeah.
But anyway, get going, getting comfortable with the thing. I feel like, okay, it's actually not that bad. It's not that bad. Driving around, it's like, wow. Okay, so that was just a warm up. I'm gonna put you into the car again. Gonna go a little faster, This was a 3-day event, if I remember correctly. 3 or 4 day event. First day was largely warm up.
Where is it happening? Is it happening in Joburg? Is it happening in Pretoria? Where is it happening?
Pretoria, happening at
dope.
Swartkops Raceway.
Dope.
So they set up the African Continental Final at Swartkops Raceway. Yeah, half dirt, half tarmac.
Okay.
Yeah, being ready. You know.
Yeah.
So we're there. Day 2 is like, okay. The FIA guys were also stressing the fact that don't break the cars. Be careful, but it's also competition.
Yeah.
Right? And so day 2, I'm trying to push a little. And my times were, I think, middle of the pack.
Okay.
Towards the top, but
okay, but still,
you know, we're driving, we're pushing. Okay, I do pretty well. I forgot exactly where I placed, but it was there or thereabouts.
Okay.
And they also when did they start eliminating? I think they started eliminating on the second day because this is now we're supposed to be comfortable with the car, right?
Yes.
On that second day, I lost the car. I hooked a cone and the mud flap hooks into the tire. Now there's like a screw on the mud flap, and these are like really knobbly off-road tires. So that screw hooks into the tire and the car is just locked. I'm trying to get going because the worst thing you can do is not finish.
Yes.
But now it's locked, it's not going anywhere. I'm trying
Sure,
neutral
your heart
first.
is
I'm losing it at that point.
Yeah.
It's like shit, it's over. The rescue van comes through, they figure out what's the problem, they yank it out. I walk back and it's like a walk of shame. And listen, in competitions when someone else wins or something happens and it's like, oh man, you did your best. In your heart of hearts. Nah. You also know that the other guys are like, okay, he's out the way. Okay, we can focus.
Now we can zero.
Yeah. But fortunately, I think my times on the day were pretty decent to get me to the end.
Okay.
Now we have another situation where people are getting
cut off. Rio, my man.
It's surviving the cut.
Yeah.
So I make it to the last day. Now you have to.
So this
really
is day
push.
3 now.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong. Day 3, 4. Now it's the last day. Now you need to put your best foot forward. And now they've tightened up the track. It's like really tricky now. It's getting pushed. And I'm pushing there. I'm driving. I'm doing my thing. I was like, at no point did I feel real comfortable in the car. But it was good enough, I do my thing, and I'm looking at the times like, okay, that was decent. But they let us know that, listen, your ultimate times are not the only thing that we look at. There's also going to be interviews, there's also going to be many other considerations.
There are a lot of other things besides you just and your time. Okay.
But cool, we make it to the end. We have a couple of interviews with, these very scary looking European guys. One from France, another from the UK, he was Colin McRae. I don't know if you know, it was Colin McRae's co-driver. We had Peter Solberg's wife there.
They were interviewing you guys.
Bro, it was
that's
insane.
Wild. That's wild.
We had, I forgot his role, but he was pretty high up in the FIA at the time. So we're getting these interviews and just trying to determine everything. Cool. Now we're waiting to hear the verdict. Listen, it's a bunch of us, and I was there with my boy as well. We're really into this. Okay. And we're all waiting, and they reveal the winner. So the winner was Max Smart. Okay. Cape Town boy. And I was like, okay, right?
Shout out,
bro. Like he really did well. Okay. He did really well.
So even for you, you are like, okay, he deserves it.
He deserves it.
Okay.
100%. Okay. Yeah. But you're taking the loss. It was what it was. It was a good experience. That was it, man.
It is what
I was
it
like,
is.
listen, I enjoyed myself.
I get
Time to look to the future.
I get that.
Yeah.
Okay. So after that, right, what happens for you next? You go back to live your normal life.
Go back to live my normal life.
Yeah.
Twitter DMs. This, I think, a couple of months. Like I said, I was posting all of this stuff. A couple of months later, Twitter DMs. This guy messages me. Hey, do you want to do a shoot? We're driving a BMW X4M.
This is a random person that you don't know at all.
Yeah, I think I've seen them on the TL. They're associated with cars. I don't really know what is going
this
on.
guy is.
Come through. We're meeting at this. There's a test track in Pretoria now. Many people know of Geotech. It's like, come through. We're doing this shoot. Do you think you'll be able to drift the car? Yes.
Okay.
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 And I'm like, okay. this is weird. Let's see what it's about.
Hey, this thing keeps coming to you. Like
It
it's
keeps
you can't
coming,
even avoid it. Like
Right?
it just keeps coming to you. Yeah.
And by the way, I misread the message and arrived a bit late, but
Okay.
we managed to do what you
The
needed to
shoot.
do.
Okay.
And I get there, hands me the keys to which was brand new at the time. It just landed in SA. Hands me the keys to a BMW X4M and says, "Do the thing. The drone is up in the air.
Let's go."
Let's go." Man, I'm like,
What?
okay, I'm trying to catch up, but okay, let me hop into the car, do this real quick. I do the thing, drive the car, and then like, shot, that was really good, man. Thanks for coming out. We'll keep in touch.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
What just happened?
Yeah, because
Okay.
like what?
Yeah. So this eventually develops, and okay, so there's the whole car reviewing space now. I'm sure you've seen a couple of guys there, and he's like, yeah, here's a test car, Jaguar F-Type SVR. Spend a couple of days with it. You'll write about it. Tell me what it's like.
Crazy.
Hey man, and again, I'm still a student at towards the end of my life at UJ.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you just gave a 2-point-something million rand, 400 kilowatt,
Car.
600 horsepower car to a student. That's crazy.
Yeah,
but,
that's
I'm
crazy.
guessing there's a reason for it. You know, I'm like, cool. Had the car for a couple of days. Really enjoyed it. Did a write up on it, and yeah, these kept happening. Kept getting these crazy cars and doing tests with them at Eurotech
And doing write-ups on the
doing
car.
write-ups on the cars. Towards the end of 2022, he's like, okay, Toyota South Africa got into contact. Do you want to do the GR Cup next year? Next year being 2023. Bro, you don't even have to ask.
Of course I'm
Of
there.
course I'm there.
Of course.
It's like, but you have to get through a selection
Oh yes, of course.
process.
Hey.
And
Your
when I
life
do
is
these-
just one long audition for different competitions, bro.
But you know, I brought myself to it. I was thinking the exact same thing, but I was like, it's there. There's nothing I can do but do it, right? Practice for it. We had our days at Eurotech as well on the sim, and we got there, and I didn't know anyone. So I was like this outsider,
Okay.
just coming in and just being dropped in. And we do the things. We like 5-lap average at Swartkops Raceway in a Yaris GR.
Yeah.
5-lap average, 2 laps ultimate lap pace.
Okay.
And immediately I was comfortable in the car, you know, but this is everyone was. So I'm just doing my thing. And yeah, I was like, okay, it was a great experience in and of itself. It was my first time on like in a prepped race car. On like doing those sorts of laps. So I was like, okay, that was a really good experience. Even if it doesn't happen, I'm happy.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then they say just be low key about it until we know what's happening. Yeah.
Okay.
Was it Jan 2023? Toyota South Africa is like, we're pleased to inform you. I'm like, yes, finally, something's happening.
Yes.
I'll be racing a full season in the GR86 Media Cup. So I have to, there's a distinction where it's like these are all other automotive journalists, car reviewers, that sort of thing.
And you're live on Dead Radio. And you're live on Dead Radio.
Some of them have some racing experience, but not, you know, outwardly
Yeah.
professional. But they've been
Excuse me.
They've been in the game for a couple of years, and I've just been dropped in. I'm that one young black guy.
The one black guy.
The one black guy.
Yeah.
The one black guy dropped into this pool, and everyone's like, okay, you know.
So they're calling you Setshaba.
Exactly.
Yeah, Setshaba. I know how it goes.
You know how it goes, man.
Yeah.
And then the first race day happens. One of the guys couldn't make the first race, so they called in someone else from the previous year, to race the previous year, who is a racing driver, to race the first race in his place. And we do the race. I was nervous as hell. I feel like I'm rushing into this because man, there was like the lead up to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn, bro. Like.
So we get to the practice day, getting strapped up into the car, just trying to figure everything out. Same circuit, driving, doing our thing, but the car didn't have the full race brakes on it yet.
Okay.
So it could only go for about one lap, cool down, one lap.
Okay.
And I was looking at my lap times. And then another guy in the industry who does have some experience and racing experience, Ernest Page, he hits me up. Essentially takes up role of the mentor. And I let him know of the times. I'm like, oh yeah, no, you know, I was behind this guy by quite a bit, but he had the brakes, and said, no excuses, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, you will not be as fast as him without the brakes, but no excuses.
Okay.
Just push. If the brakes on fire, obviously be safe, but
Go.
Just go. You know, so I'm like, bet, bro, I'm just carrying this into the season. First season of real life racing, you know, so it's like everything is buzzing. Now this is the official practice. This is the official practice the day before race day now.
Okay.
Get into the car and we're lapping. Second fastest. Behind the guy who has some seat time. Like, damn.
Now you're like,
okay. We're in business.
yeah, we're moving now.
We're moving.
Yeah.
Listen, I didn't expect to beat that guy. So I just took that. I just tried to improve as much as possible. Listen, we didn't really have coaches. There's this system in the car that tries to improve your driving through, you know, the GPS and machine learning and whatnot. Even as a data scientist, I will say that none of that is perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know, we're just pushing, get into qualifying, do the quali, like 15 minutes, pushing in the car. Like now I'm going at it, man. I'm in the car thinking, this is real, bro. This is real. We are racing. Still not in the most competitive league, but we are racing.
Now we're racing, bro.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Do the quali, get out of the car because there's nothing that tells you where you are. So I grab my phone. I check, I'm P2. P2 in qualifying for the race tomorrow. I'm like, damn, this is insane.
Yeah, that's
This
crazy.
is mad. Get into the race. I remember my heart rate that day was like verging on 150. My heart was racing. This is just sitting in Park Fermé waiting to get onto the circuit, right? And it's the weight that really gets you.
Yeah, I get that.
You know, it's the weight.
I get that, yeah.
You're just chilling, making sure you're strapped
Yo,
in.
am I good? Am I ready?
Am I ready? Are my arms okay? Will I have any excuses to lean on to if this doesn't go well? Make sure you don't have any.
Yeah.
The light goes green so that we can go onto the track. We go out, warm up lap, come around on the grid, and then go around for the starting lap because it's a rolling start.
Yeah.
We come around, foot flat, we go. The guy heads, he starts pulling. I'm like, okay, that's to be expected.
Yeah.
But I notice I'm pulling on the guys behind as well, like a gap.
Yeah.
Like, no ways, bro.
But obviously, also you have to keep your composure,
Yeah.
right? Like, yeah, I'm leaving people, but if I mess up, they're gonna pass me.
They're gonna pass.
Yeah.
There are many eyes watching.
Yeah.
Like like we mentioned, you know, being that one guy, that one drop in the pool.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people watching.
Yeah.
Let's keep composure.
let's
But
go.
also, the competitive mind is. I also want to catch that
I
guy.
need to catch that guy.
I need to catch him. That didn't happen, but I kept that. Race one, I finished second, just behind that guy. I was like, damn, okay. I was over the moon, bro.
I feel that, bro. I feel that.
It was ridiculous. My girlfriend was there.
Yeah.
My parents were there.
Yeah.
It was incredible, man. It was.
Now,
insane.
after all of those disappointments, which really I view as like character building, really, I don't see them as like you losing. It's just you being in the gym and life preparing you for things. So now you're second. How are you feeling in the moment? What are you thinking at that time? Like, because you left everyone else in the dust, literally. Yeah, how are you like perceiving this?
One was okay. We made it. We made it. It wasn't as bad as I thought. The nerves were.
Yeah.
They were through the roof.
Yeah,
man. And we made it. Now it's just so we have 2 heats of races. Now it's just waiting for the second heat. Greeting all my mates, the folks, my girl, everyone, and obviously trying to think about the second race. And second race happened. Same outcome. So I was second overall.
Second again, okay.
Like okay, that was good to start.
Yeah, that's silver, bro.
And I remember my my guy, Ernest. He was like, okay, you know, it is your first time, so you're not really looking for a win or something. Just finish. I made it second, and
That's huge.
he was like, okay, we can see what we can do now.
We
It's a
can
good
build
place
on
to start.
this.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was cool. Yeah, that was the first race weekend.
Okay.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Did your second.
Yeah.
Like.
Then second round now, going down to Cape Town, Killarney Raceway, doing practice. I'm quickest. Second practice, I'm quickest. Third practice, I'm quickest. I'm like, is this the weekend?
Yeah. Is this the
This has to be the weekend.
Yeah, it has to be.
This has to be the weekend. Come quali, early in the morning. It was like 7:30, 8 a.m. The first one's out on track. You know how Cape Town weather is. Starts raining. I have zero experience in the rain. And we go out and my Garmin isn't working. So I'm like, okay, I don't have a reference point. I'm going to have to use the other guys as a reference point of how quick I'm going. I go out, I'm trying to get used to the car in the rain.
In the rain, yes.
We run on semi-slick tires in the dry or the wet. They're really, really, really good in the dry. They are horrible in the wet. You're just slipping all over the place.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get my head around this thing. The car is just doing this all over the place. That sort is like, don't mess this up. Just remember, don't mess this up, because the Killarney Killarney Raceway has this section. It's corners. That's corner 1, 2, corners 3, 4, and 5 are about 140, 160 km/h corners. Almost flat out when it's dry, not flat out when it's wet. But it's the nature of the corner is you can lose it very easily.
Very.
And when you lose it, the car's a write-off. And the day prior, there was a league that runs parallel to us, which is the Development Cup. These are like kids who are from karting, and they're like, one of the kids binned it into the wall at that section in the dry. So in the wet,
Now you're like.
but now I feel like I'm being overly cautious. I don't have a good feel of this. And this is qualifying. We're qualifying for the race. I was struggling. This was my first real big challenge. And I can feel that this lap isn't coming together. But I try and push, and it wasn't good enough. I start second to last. With 7 of us, I started 6th. It's fine. I know I'm quick in the dry. We'll eventually learn how to be quick in the wet. But this is where we are now. Let's push. Race starts. There's some commotion at the front. Because I'm at the back. There's some commotion at the front. I managed to make a couple of places. I think I made 2 places. So now I'm fourth.
Fourth now. Yes.
So now I'm
yes,
fourth.
yes.
I'm like, okay, we are in business.
Yeah,
we are
now in
moving.
business, dog.
And I can see that I'm quicker than everyone ahead. So I'm catching it. But there's a guy who's up ahead. Because of all the commotion that's happening here, he manages to run away.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm fourth in that race at that moment. But this guy ahead of me, man, because I think that's the first time he was somewhere in the race. And I'm trying to get past him, and I realize someone's going to get hurt. Like he was moving mad, weaving about on the circuit. That's, you would think that you can weave to block someone, but there are rules. You can make one move before braking zone. So you have to be sure that the move you make is the one. Whilst if the other person moves, you can't move back.
Okay.
Bro's weaving around the circuit, and so I'm following him while there are 2 other guys
In front of him.
front. He bumps the other guy off the circuit. No, the first one was when I'm just trying to remember the sequence of events. Oh no, I was the first victim. No, I wasn't the first victim. The first victim was the guy who qualified first.
Okay.
On the first lap, as we were starting, coming into the braking zone, he punted him off. So hit him off the track so we all get past him. I didn't really know what happened. I just saw us passing this guy. I'm like, okay, it is what it is. It's your fight, bro. And we're going on. And that's where I'm trying to get past this guy. He loses it at turn 2 at Killarney. So his car goes sideways, right? And whenever that happens, you lose a lot of speed. They call it scrubbing off speed. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna drive outside the guy, right? He's literally off of the circuit. So I come around, I'm on the throttle. He aims at me directly. Like, comes straight, and I have to avoid him because again,
now it's gonna ruin your time.
Again, I would rather not have a dent on this car, So he runs me off track, I'm avoiding him, and I get back on. In the midst of all of that, there's a picture of mine that I grabbed from my GoPro where I'm pulling up the middle, I'm off the circuit, holding like opposite lock, and I'm pulling the finger to the sky because
It's like, bro, you're such
this
a
is
dig.
insane,
Yeah,
man.
what
Like
are you
we get to that section that I mentioned is quite sketchy. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to try and move there because if he's going to pull that,
then
I get locked
we're in
out there,
trouble.
He does it to someone else. This other guy tries to get past him and he brushes him off. And I'm looking at this guy, I'm like, okay, so if I want to keep this car clean, I'm not going to get past this guy. And I think at some point, I'm like, okay, no, let's try and fight. I'm trying this, that, and the other. We get to the last corner, he punts another guy off, pushes him off, completely off track. I'm like, okay, I think I'll just settle for third. I got up to third at this point. I'll settle for third. It's cool because I think everyone can see what's going on here.
This guy is wild.
This guy, and I was pissed after the race. I was pissed, but I'm keeping my composure. I know where I am. I know who I am. Got out the car, closed the door, took off my helmet, walked off. Because everyone's parked there for like post-race, park, walk off. Because I knew I was going to say some very
wild stuff to this
things,
guy.
I already had the words arranged, but I'm like, this is not the space.
To do that.
I'm just gonna keep it calm, make a formal complaint to someone, and I went up to the guy. I'm like, no,
I know you guys saw that.
You had to see that. There's absolutely no way. The guy came off with a slap on the wrist, like, just don't do that again. I'm like, fine. I forgot where I started in the second race, in the second heat. But it was quite, I think, in the middle, probably like fourth or something, because I started third. It was fourth. I started fourth. Cool. I'm like, okay, at least that guy's behind me. I can just focus on getting around these guys. I make quick work of the guy in third, and I'm chasing second. Second was putting up quite a decent fight. I was quite a bit quicker than him, but he was defending really, really, really well. So we're fighting, trying to mind games,
Top spot,
just feinting a move. Eventually he folds, but now we have 2 laps left, and the guy in first is quite far. But I'm like,
not playing.
I have to cook. It's not over, so I'm cooking. So I think I was maybe a second or a second and a half per lap quicker than him. So I'm closing quick, but not quick enough. Eventually, I closed the gap. But I didn't get to first, so I finished second.
But right on him.
But this guy at the back, because when they do the overall finishes, it's because I came third in the first race, second in the second race, and the same for the guy. He came second in the last race. And third now. But he was closer to me in this race than I was to him in the previous race.
One,
So he got second overall. I was third. The other guy got first, which was fine. You know, I was mad as hell because I told the lead up to the race, I was sure that this was going to be my weekend, and it just wasn't. You know, there was that thing hanging in my mind. We need that wet weather pace.
I get that.
But that's fine.
I get that.
That's cool. But I think everyone at this point knew.
They knew Horio.
It's like, okay. That's when energy started getting a little weird. In these things. It wasn't outwardly weird, but we can
could sense that.
We sense these things, right?
There's a problem here. People are bothered by my presence.
There's an issue here.
Okay, I want to pivot and speak about race, right? Race in races, right?
Race and racing.
Race and racing. How have you been able to navigate as, I'm assuming, one of the few black men in this space? Because I'm assuming at times it could be uncomfortable, but at the same time, I'm here to race. I'm not here for the politics. How have you been able to navigate that?
Basically that. Just try and focus on the racing as much as possible. Because if you do get caught up in the politics, of which there are many.
There must be many, bro.
You know, that's where your energy is going to go. But you start noticing things, very subtle things. And it's like, oh, it's like that?
It's like that? Okay.
Cool, I see. There are many guys who are like, okay, you're onto something, but there's still that thing that's still hanging in the air. I honestly can't. And it's not that I don't want to say it out loud, but sometimes you can't. We just know it because we know.
Yeah, we know what it is.
Not something you can put your finger on because nothing was outwardly wrong. Right?
Yes.
But there was a look of, okay, it's this guy again. You know,
this guy. He's here again.
You know.
It's
like, where? Who got you here?
How did you get here? But they'll never say that to you, right? Okay.
So that's the vibe, and a bigger part of it is tied up with class and wealth. Because ultimately racing is, people think golf is the rich man's sport.
Racing is really
people burn millions in a weekend, you know, And so...
So that's the biggest barrier of entry,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Resources.
Okay.
Resources. I get that. And I get why people would be like, how did you get here? Like, what's going on here? Okay.
But nevertheless, we keep pushing, just head down,
Yeah.
just focus on the
Do the
racing.
work.
Yeah, which I did.
Because you are in a space where, and a lot of black people end up in these spaces where now you are representing way more than just yourself. And if you make it anything else about other than the work or racing, then you become a reflection of a much bigger demographic. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But I love that. Yeah, keep the main thing the main thing.
Keep
I
the
don't
main
care
thing
about
the main thing.
the other things.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about racing? What's like the most fulfilling thing about racing? Professionally.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, just being a purist and just being attracted to trying to be the best.
Yeah.
And even if I don't become the best, let me fail having tried.
I get that.
So the thing is, competition and racing in particular is the best way to weed out bullshit.
I get
that. It's minor things, A lot of people claim they can drive. It's like, bet.
Let's go.
Let's go. A lot of people claim they can build a car. This is what you need to do to make a really good car. Bet, put it onto the circuit. Let's see.
Go.
Yeah. All sorts of things, and it's not just those things as well. Like we said, it's in your head. And I think for me, I'm an introvert and quite reserved. But inwardly, I am competitive.
I get that.
There is an ego, there is bravado, right? And when you are with someone else on the circuit, especially this year now that I'm doing the development league, which is now
that's
proper racing.
Okay.
Especially now where like there's a massive carrot at the end. Yeah, we were laughing together in the pits just
but
now.
Now,
It's serious now.
Yeah, now it's serious.
And you have to be in the car and say, I'm going to get you, or like, something like that. I had to get into your head. So I think that's my favorite thing. One, just being, it's taken me a long time to get to a point where I can say, okay, I can drive pretty decently. To the nature of it all, it's just a dream. It's something that I never ever dreamt of happening. And another thing, it brings me somewhat closer to that dream of having been in a fighter jet.
I get that.
But yeah, the speed as well. Sometimes there was a time where I went through this curve. We're approaching 200 km an hour at East London circuit. It's a flat right-hand corner, and I was like mirror to mirror with this car, and I thought, this is insane, bro. Yeah. You're like, you could touch the other car if you want to, and we're doing close to 200 km an hour, and it's just the adrenaline.
Yeah,
rush,
the adrenaline is like, it must
insane,
be crazy.
And sometimes when I look at the videos, and I remember that this is what we do. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, like pushing the limits
of the machine and also yourself, your machine, right? I get that.
Exactly.
I get that. Damn, like, what an interesting story that I feel like more black kids out there need to see and know about. You know what I mean? Because I ask every single guest this, right? What's a new dream that you have today that you didn't have a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? What's a new dream for you now that you're in this space, you're doing super well? What's a new dream for you?
For me, is to right now go up a level in leagues. So right now this is the Development Cup. Essentially, Toyota South Africa was like, okay, you did pretty well, putting you into the real racing now. And after this, I'd really like to see myself in either Super Cup, which is one of the more competitive leagues here, or get into a GT car. So whether it's a R8 Lambo or something, GT3 car, GT4, that's something that I'm
really like you have your eye on.
I have my eye on it now, yeah.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, so
like
it's insane to think about.
Yeah.
Even for myself, I look at the costs involved, and I'm very fortunate to be fully sponsored by Toyota this year. Going forward, you know, it's really tough to get the funding, but we just have to find ways to do it. And part of that is doing well at what I'm doing right now.
I get that.
Yeah. Longer term, just keep making racing more accessible.
More accessible. Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. Yo, man, shout out to Toyota because, like, wow, shout out to them.
Massive shout out, man.
Yeah, bro.
Massive shout out. Listen, there are so many people that I don't know, never even heard of, who pulled strings, pushed buttons,
Facts.
put words into people's ears that got me here.
Because they were like, yo, trust me, this Chaba guy, trust me.
Yeah.
Like, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. Yo, that's a huge shout out.
That's crazy.
Okay, as we're winding down the conversation, what's your last piece of advice to the dreamers out there? What's your last piece of advice to a kid who has maybe the same passions as you, but is like, fuck, I'm stuck in not having resources, I'm stuck in not having connections, I'm stuck in not being able to reach this dream? What's your last piece of advice to a kid out there?
One, this is a very, there's no formula to racing.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have resources. There's honestly, there isn't a number that I'll give you, or anyone for that matter, that here's a number, you'll become a racing driver. Is the money involved is, when I tell you that it's insane, it's truly insane. It's a lot of people would riot if they find out what sort of sums are being spent racing.
I get that.
You know,
I get that.
what I can say is lean into the passion. Don't do it because you love it. Do it because you love it. You may not become a racing driver, a pilot, or whatever. Just pour yourself into it. I know that's difficult for kids who don't have resources. I know for one that I would never become a racing driver without a decent amount of sponsorship, because even if I had that money, it would have had to go to more important things. So I know that's not an option, but just pour yourself into your passion as much as it makes sense to the rest of your life. If you're really into racing, go to races. Follow Extreme Festival. Follow any South African racing drivers. Me, there's Natim Simanga, there's Jonathan Mohotsi, there's Bradley Liebenberg. Who else? There's Karabo Manemela. Follow those guys, you'll get insight into when events are happening. You'll get a peek into South African motorsport. Attend the events. Attend car events. You have to love it, because the reason why you have to love it, it's not because it will make you good at it. It will make you what could I say, pay those unseen costs. Because I think in love, even in relationships, you have to make a lot of compromises, and you make them because you love the person. You know, you put out all the stops because you love that person. You love this thing. You just want to make it work. Sometimes you might have to ask for $1,000 from friends so that you can make this event happen.
Yeah.
Those things have to happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to drive from here to Mpumalanga to attend a race. You have to do those sorts of things. And as you put yourself out there, as you immerse yourself in the environment with the people, and they see you, and much as we speak about race, there are a lot of people who do have the power, who do have the privilege.
Yes. To put you in position.
Yeah, and still have the foresight and the desire to put disadvantaged kids or kids who just generally wouldn't make it into racing, just bring you in. There are people like that, and as they see you, sometimes they say, even if you have to be a mechanic,
I get that.
be a wrench, just be around it.
I get
take weekends out, because obviously you're probably doing some school or paying the bills somehow.
But immerse
yourself, and I don't promise that will get you into a racing seat, but it will get you pretty damn close. That's the advice that I have. And now with social media,
I love that.
Speak to the people, again, immerse yourself into online communities, games, sim racing, Gran Turismo, there are a bunch of leagues there, but if you really want to get yourself ready for the real world.
I get that, bro.
Yeah.
I get that. Immersing yourself.
Immerse yourself, things become easier. Because you have to make a lot of sacrifices. And in that case as well, because you're immersing yourself and you are pushing, when opportunities come your way, you're ready somewhat. Just like me. Again, not many people might be fortunate to have, for their parents to have a car that can go and mess around in, but a lot more people have parents with cars than people who have parents who can pay for them to go karting.
So use what you have.
Use what you have, and try to best of your abilities to push yourself with whatever you have.
I get that, bro. Damn. Bro, this has been a phenomenal conversation. Awesome. I've really enjoyed it. I'm sure everyone out there has enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be back with another episode of Dead Radio.
Sweetness.
And you're live on Dead Radio.